we will move on to our regularly scheduled, not adjusted in time, town manager report.
Happy to be back. Thank you. Chief Russell from the Tyngsborough Fire Department issued a reminder to the community today that we're still dealing with an elevated fire risk due to low humidity and moderate drought conditions. We've posted on tyngsboroughma.gov a list of tips and things that people should avoid for the next week. So the bottom line is residents should avoid all outdoor burning for at least the next week. I think last count there's something still like 50 fires burning across the Commonwealth, so certainly still very dry out there. The fire department will continue to provide updates as necessary. Generally speaking, our police and fire departments respond regularly to reports of fire, but they're more proactively looking specifically on larger parcels of land. We've had a couple between us and Chelmsford, small ones along Route 3. So any type of discarded embers or anything that's hot can cause a fire, so just be extra cautious. Not that anybody needs this reminder, but tomorrow is, of course, the presidential election, and while thousands of Tyngsborough residents, I think it's just above 3,000 at this point, have already cast their vote either by mail or through early voting, we are expecting, obviously, a large turnout tomorrow. I just want to take a minute to remind everyone that the people that you see working at the polls are your neighbors, so treat them with respect, follow the rules. They apply to everybody evenly, and be patient. We undoubtedly all have differences in opinions, but one thing that makes Tyngsborough so unique is our deep sense of community. I want to remind folks to treat each other with kindness, regardless of how tomorrow night ends. And of course, we'll post the results as soon as we have them on the town's website. I also want to give a shout out to our new town clerk, Jessica Brunel, who spent the last few months working very hard, hand in hand with our Board of Registrars, the Town Democratic Committee, and the Town Republican Committee to ensure that our election is transparent and smooth. She's had members from both registered organizations as well as just residents at large in the office watching them do advanced deposits and the like. So if people wanted to know how the election works, certainly they had an opportunity here. So a big thank you to her and, of course, all of the poll workers who will have very long days tomorrow, but hopefully not too long. I'm excited to welcome Guy Bastian to our facilities division within the Department of Public Works. He started last week in our part-time custodial position, which supports the Center for Active Living in the police department. The position has been vacant for quite some time, so we're thrilled to have Guy on board. The most exciting update I have tonight is that our town center digital sign is fully installed and connected. We already have a few messages out there. I've driven by about 4 times today to make sure that it's working correctly. We will only be using the sign to publish government messaging, so that's things from Town Hall, the library, and our Center for Active Living. We gave instructions to all of our department heads today about how to get messages out, but if you've seen it, the messages are full sentences now as opposed to the code messages that we had to put on those tiny little highway signs. We'll be hosting our second annual all-staff training on Wednesday, December 18th. In order to accommodate this and to allow all staff to attend, Town Hall will have a delayed opening with town offices opening at 11 a.m. This will not impact the Center for Active Living. I expect that this will potentially impact the Tyngsborough Public Library, but that decision, of course, has to be made by the Board of Library Trustees. We got a grant this year, which caused us to, and this year it had to be completed by January 1st. They made the announcement slightly late, so we're playing catch up. I think last year we knew in September that we'd be doing something in November, but I wanted to get that out there so that people know Town Hall, at the very least, will be opening a little bit later that day. I'm excited to share a great lineup of events honoring our veterans this year. As you know, the American Legion finally reopened following the fire. They will host a traditional Veterans Day event on November 11th at 11 a.m. at the Legion. They wanted to do something big this year to celebrate not just Veterans Day, but also their reopening. And so as a part of that, they've assessed an admissions fee to support the program that they're doing. Because there's an admissions fee, it would be unethical for us to use taxpayer money to fund the program. So they're really running it. The town will support it. We'll put messaging out about it. But we will host, in conjunction with the Tyngsborough Firefighters Association, a Wreaths Across America event again on December 14th. Information for both of those will be available shortly on the town's website. The work to extend the fiber network over the bridge to the Norris Road campus and the new clubhouse on Sherburne Ave is almost complete. Chances are by now you've seen them in action along Kendall Road and Frost Road. And just a reminder that this work was funded by a $200,000 grant from the Commonwealth that our IT department secured. The 2024 roads program phase 2 is wrapping up. Final paving on Oregon and Nevada took place last week. There are a couple minor punch list items they have to address. I think they'll be in tomorrow and Wednesday, but that'll put a wrap on that project. We're nearly complete the replacement of the Scribner Road culvert replacement project. That's going to address a serious flooding problem that anybody in that area has encountered anytime we get some substantial rain. The engineering department once again received a grant from the Commonwealth to design 2 culvert replacements. The grant totaled $370,000 and will replace culverts along Dunstable Road and Redgate Road, again, common flooding areas. I do want to give a shout out to our DPW Superintendent Jacob Zwicker. We've received for these types of projects over the last 3 or 4 years in excess of $1 million, both in a combination of design funding and then construction funding. Oftentimes, we start with the design funding and then we do the construction funding. This is an area of town that probably before 5 years ago, we really didn't pay much attention to. And so we have a lot of backlog in terms of culverts, but we've done a really good job under his leadership finding ways to get them fixed when we can. Our Economic Development Director and Town Planner, Ben McClure, is hard at work, working to ensure that we're a competitive place to open and maintain a business. He's been talking to several local businesses with the hopes of developing interest in a potential Economic Development Advisory Council. He's working with our IT department and the website vendor to develop a much more attractive and useful page for economic development on tyngsboroughmay.gov. You've all seen the economic development brochures that we used a state grant to put together. Our hope is that we turn the economic development page into an interactive version of that with links to apply for the various licenses. We've done a lot in Tyngsborough to streamline the permitting process. Our office recently went online for liquor licenses, common vic, and entertainment. And so there are, aside from a business license, which is next, everything is online. It's all in the same portal. So somebody that's looking to open a business from scratch doesn't have to go through a million different hoops to get their business open. National Grid has implemented a rate increase for the distribution rates. According to National Grid, this is the first distribution rate increase since 2019. Of course, this is different than a supply rate increase, which they see every single year. And the supply rate increases that you would see from National Grid, town residents on the energy aggregation program are insulated from those because we lock ourselves into 3-year contracts. The rate on the distribution increase is approximately 2.8%, which they say results in an average monthly impact on residential users of just about $6 per month. A copy of a letter that we received highlighting this was included in the board's correspondence. Anytime they increase their distribution rates, it has to go before the Department of Public Utilities, who make sure that it's a justified increase. So they included a copy of their order permitting that increase as well. And then finally, as we head into the holiday season, I just wanted to point out 2 minor scheduling changes for the town offices. We'll close Town Hall at 4 p.m. on Wednesday, November 27th. Town offices, the DPW, and the Center for Active Living will close at 2 p.m. on Christmas Eve, Tuesday, December 24th.
Thank you. Kat?
Just 2 short items. The Tyngsborough Board of Health hosted a Rolling into Recovery event at Roller Kingdom. Approximately 50 students attended to celebrate those in recovery and their supporters. A big thanks to our regional public health specialist, Siobhan Lafreniere, for her coordination, and Roller Kingdom for their generous donation. The Opioid Task Force met last week to discuss additional opportunities to use the abatement funds from the state settlement. The task force is preparing a community survey and forum to gain insight and feedback from the community to help guide future initiatives. We're also looking into a mental health referral service. We've had one in the past, William James Interface, but we're exploring a couple of different options now, being one that the school uses called Care Solace, and as well as a service offered by the state. So stay tuned for more information on that.
Excellent. Thank you for those updates.